Welcome to the home pitch of the Soccer Seminoles. They are the defending national champs, and it is a picturesque evening on the campus of FSU in Tallahassee, Florida, as we get set for ACC soccer. North Carolina State paying a visit to the Seminoles tonight. Hello, everybody. Tom Block, Alex Minton. FSU, as I just mentioned, the defending national champs as the postseason draws closer this year. Florida State well-positioned once again, currently number 2 across the board in all the polls.
Yep, great season again, once again for Florida State. Each game that we're watching, they seem to be getting stronger and stronger. And tonight, no doubt, they're going to come in and be a force to be reckoned with once again.
For the Wolfpack, the visitors from Raleigh, this is a tall challenge. Their last game was postponed due to the inclement weather throughout the Southeast, so NC State is still searching for its first ACC win of the year, and they will look to Jackie Stengel.
Yeah, Jackie Stengel's been, she's had quite a good season so far. She can finish the ball, she holds the ball up well, and with NC State having a little rest last week, they should come out here fresh legs and ready to go.
For Florida State, meanwhile, they tuned up for tonight's match with a 6-0 victory over Pitt in their last outing. Florida State, a lot of technical skill, every position on the field. Megan Conley, though, has really burst on the scene this year for the Seminoles.
She has. She's impressed a lot of players this season so far, Tom. She's come in, shows a variety of skill using her left foot, her right foot, as well as her heading ability to score goals. So being a freshman and being a key player for FSU, she's going to be a player that the rest of the team turn to for this tonight.
She leads the country in assists per game. Florida State as a team leads the country in assists per game. It's the North Carolina State Wolfpack, the Florida State Seminoles will set the starting lineups and kick things off from FSU right after this. Wolfpack Unis, they come in searching and seeking their first ACC win on the season. They are 4-8 overall. Florida State in the home whites, defending national champs, 10-1-1, including 3-0-1 in the ACC. The lone blemish, the draw against Duke earlier this year. The ACC perennially one of the toughest, if not the toughest, women's soccer leagues in the country. Moments away from kickoff. A little bit of natural light still left, but the lights are on, and pretty soon they will take over. Underway, the whistle blows. Our referee is Leland Grant, and the Wolfpack will attack to the right, Florida State to the left, as a rivalry gets renewed.
Yep, good evening everybody. Alex Minton here. Tom, it's you and I again getting ready for another game here in Tallahassee, and it's good to see how NC State are going to set up here. You see early on Shayna Williams taking a player on.
Well, and a good run, in fact, into the box and deflected and going to be scooped up by the keeper, Sydney Wooten, for the Wolfpack, a 5'6" freshman from San Diego. But right away, Florida State with great speed there up top. Got it right into the box.
Great change of speed by Shayna Williams there to get beyond the defender. And I was going to say, just as that was happening, is we've seen so many teams come here at Tallahassee recently where they've come out and tried to put a little bit of pressure on FSU and ran out a little bit of gas towards the middle of the game. So it'll be interesting to see, Coach here, whether they set up defensively, kind of park the bus a little bit and wait for a counter opportunity to get on top of FSU. So early start, and just be interesting to see how NC State set themselves up.
The Wolfpack have not played in 10 days. They were scheduled to play Virginia on October 2nd, and that game was washed out due to all the torrential rain in the Southeast. So it's been about a 10-day layoff as this comes to the top of the box on the left side, and Florida State drops it to Carson Pickett. The senior will maneuver, and Florida State, leading the country in assist, passes the ball so well. Look at the blast initially and in. We're not even 2 minutes in, and Florida State opens the scoring. It is 1-0 in favor of the number 2 team in the country.
What a strike that was.
Beautiful work for Florida State, 1-0 Noles.
Well, let's go and take a look at this replay here. This ball's got squared over to Michaela Hahn. Great finish in the top left-hand corner. She's been great all season. We've talked about this previously, Tom, about the silent impact Michaela Hahn has on the ball. She plays the ball simple. She sits in that midfield role, brings other players into play. And that moment there was a piece of individual skill, great technique, and the goalkeeper had no chance.
Florida State will possess the ball and do so at length, but that time a golden opportunity. Michaela Hahn strikes for her 3rd goal of the year. Well, the Wolfpack will try to counter. That's sort of an ominous start. The Wolfpack with 4 wins, as this is a foul on Florida State. And when they have scored first this year, meaning the Wolfpack, they're 4-1. But with no other wins and 7 other losses, that tells you they're 0-7 when the other side has struck first, as just happened for the Seminoles here. Yeah,
and these are the opportunities, free kicks like this, that they can try and get something on the end of. Not a bad ball in, just those runs were made a little bit too early and bypassed everybody there. But what a great start for FSU. It's shell shock again for the visiting team that comes in to let a goal in so early on. They have to try and get themselves settled into this game.
Hahn is a senior, Alex, from Titusville, Florida. And so it all goes so fast, hard to believe. Florida State only with a couple more home matches this year.
Yeah.
And Hahn's been a fixture for the last couple of years for FSU. And then, of course, FSU hopes to be playing some NCAA postseason soccer here in Tallahassee, as has been the case just about every year. They're certainly positioned to do so, number 2 in the country.
They will, and they've got plenty of games still to go. But this is the time, as a team in this stage of the season, that they're getting ready now for the future and seeing what's going on and what's coming up, and the optimal fitness of all these players should be peaking right around now. And see from the level of play at the start early on here, FSU are in complete control.
Great ball by Megan Conley. Florida State tried to get it over to Tillman, but the ball cleared out back towards midfield. But again, FSU pressing forward under the direction of Coach Mark Krikorian, his 11th season now at the helm. All he's done in his previous 10 years is take FSU to the Elite 8 all 10 of those years, and the team has finished in the top 10 nationally all 10 of those years.
Yep, and
a little bit dicey there. Good hustle by the FSU keeper Cassie Miller to get out there and pounce on that.
The linesman, or the assistant referee, as we call him now, they did flag for offside there, but nice little ball, good little run in behind there as well. Going back to Coach Krikorian, I mean, everybody in the Tallahassee community knows Coach Krikorian and knows the level of play that he's set for these young women on and off the field, and joy to watch them as they go forward again here with Shayna.
Shayna gets pushed in the back and didn't get enough on that. She was trying to dribble it past the keeper and maybe set up one of her teammates. But that was a good ball again for FSU.
Great ball by Pickett, and Shayna Williams really should have gone through with the left foot and followed through, and a good strike on goal. That's what she needed. But again, we see FSU possess the ball. They like to switch the point of attack, go from one side to the other. And the back four with Crowley and Pickett here on the ball, very comfortable on the ball and going forward.
Look at that pass from Conley. Leads the country in assists. Good chip to the 6-yard line. Williams was breaking but couldn't get ahead on it. Florida State already in the opening 6 minutes has had several chances, and they've cashed one in. The Wolfpack will look for an equalizer. And it's stripped away, and the white jerseys will attack once more. To Natalia Cuica, freshman. Pickett is a senior. Good mix in terms of seniority and youth, if you will. I won't call it inexperience at this point. They've played the majority of the year. And
we said before, haven't we, the freshmen that have come in to FSU this season have settled in straight away and been an immediate impact, the ones that have played. Tillman being one of them on the ball right now.
In a foot race, didn't have the angle, but still fired a pretty good shot across, and NC State did a good job not to lose that over the goal line, but Florida State retains possession. Here is Pickett in space. She can maneuver, which she'll do, and now she plays it outside to Cuica. Cuica go around a defender, drops it to the 6-yard box, and again it squirts free. Now Hahn Hahn will reverse the point of attack, and Florida State from the right flank now. Taken away, and NC State halts the attack for the moment as it goes out of bounds for an FSU throw-in.
You can see the confidence oozing in FSU's team at the moment. I mean, they are Queeker's bit of skill there on the left-hand side. She knew exactly what she was doing on the ball, and nearly created another goal-scoring opportunity.
A long throw-in. That is a beauty. Florida State couldn't get ahead on it, but the rebound squirts free. Top of the box, a lot of bodies, and it's cut off. Again, Florida State, Campbell and company with a chance. Here's the cross, chipped and headed out, but not home free yet for the Wolfpack. Hahn and the Noles will reload. Here is Hahn once more, and she'll go to the right flank. Tillman comes crashing in hard, and it's headed away. Florida State just continues the onslaught.
Watching NC State, the way they're set up at the moment, Tom, is, you know, any team that you play that are strong, you'll always tell your defense to squeeze nice and tight to protect the goal. But what Florida State are doing so well now is getting the ball out wide, and then their serves that they're bringing in have been top quality.
Another good throw in, and free for a moment. Not a lot on that one. Misstruck, and NC State fortunate, but you can see that Florida State already with 5 shots here in the opening 9 minutes of this match. And now a first corner coming up.
Yep, Carson Pickett heading over, being in-swinging left-footed corner. We've seen in the past games one player that they turn to is Crowley. She's good in the air. She gets on the end of things, so that'll be one player that they're looking for here. Kirsten
Number
Cowley.
22, right in the middle of the screen there, is Crowley. Crowley moves, and she was positioned if it wasn't deflected before could get to her.
Good delivery by Pickett, inviting for Crowley to come onto it. Good defending as well, actually. Player got well to get the ball away there.
Florida State, number 2 in the country. They started the year number 1. Suffered their only defeat of the season a few matches in, a 3-2 loss to rival Florida. Since then, it's been all W's except for 1 draw against Duke, so 10-1-1 overall. The Noles, after that loss, by the way, dropped to as low as number 6 and have crept back up all the way to number 2 behind Carolina, the number 1 team in the country, who FSU will face right here on Sunday in what will be a terrific match. Queka pushes it forward. Shayna Williams tries to split 2 defenders, does with her head. Now it's 1-on-3, maneuvering, cuts back. Oh, lost it off the right foot.
Schmidt.
Florida State has Schmidt there. Great save. Tremendous save by Wootnor. It's 2-0 Noles.
Excellent save. Yeah, watching this replay here, Shayna Williams comes in. Great strike, but like you say, Wooten got to the ball well, and great save there. So she's going to be called into action probably more than once in today's game, and that's shown that she can definitely have the ability to be a good shot stopper. But it came from the ball and the positiveness of Shayna Williams. You know, she took that positive ball inside. She wanted to beat players, 3 players around her. It kind of deflected there, and very positive there from FSU.
Almost a mistake defensively for Florida State, but the Wolfpack not able to capitalize. Hahn pushes it forward, foot race, but that'll be too far forward, and Wooten again will grab it. Wooten making her 8th start. Seven goals against now, counting the 1 tonight. And she's been busy already with 6 Florida State shots. A couple of saves for Sydney Wooten.
And just this ability here again with Megan Campbell to be able to rifle in these balls from all angles, and they've got these set plays in place. Kirsten Crowley goes up, probably going to be that person to initially flick the ball on.
Well, Campbell is a a weapon with her throw-in. Watch this. She can basically throw it into the net. Koivisto will retreat. She's the only one around and knows she has time to settle it and turn. Tillman comes back to get it. Florida State with an international flavor. In fact, 6 Americans and 5 international players in the starting lineup tonight. That's been the norm here for some time. What a great ball off the crossbar. Williams trying to chase it down. Mistimes her leap and wanted a bicycle kick, still free. Now it squirts out once more. Florida State. And Campbell not through yet. Campbell dribbling, trying to get that angle, cut off and lost out of bounds. Not out of bounds, off the stick.
Look at this replay here, though. And we've got all sorts going on. But looking at that replay, volley there from Connolly. Great technique, used the laces, hits the crossbar, and then little comedy of situations. The ball got cleared, and the chances of it hitting the corner flag and staying in play, which it did. And then the ball came across, and defender for NC State dropped the ball to their goalkeeper.
So FSU really threatening as Jenna has it, a senior from New Jersey for the Wolfpack. Shayna Williams with a near takeaway. In fact, she does create the takeaway. Here's Kuika, but good job to hustle up by Allison Brown and thwart that attack by the Seminoles for the moment. Hahn checks behind her as she receives the pass, now moves forward, has Kuika to the left. That's where she'll go. Shayna Williams camps out outside the 6-yard line as Florida State works backward to Carson Pickett. Pickett will reverse the point of attack, it would appear. She drops it to the back line. We're 15 minutes into this match in Tallahassee. Crowley with a touch right in front of the FSU bench now. It's played. Very patient, deliberate attack for Florida State. And, boy, once they get possession, it's hard to get it back.
You know, I was just thinking about that, Thomas. You know, what does NC State do now to get themselves back in the game? And they have to get somebody on Michaela Khan. Every time I watch her and she gets on the ball, there's not an NC State player within 10, 15 yards of her. So everything's going through her at the moment. And, you know, at some point, whether you bring back, you know, Stengel and say, hey, you know, sit on Michaela Hahn for the next 15 minutes, but they've got to get tighter to her because everything at the moment for Florida State is going through her.
FSU scored 2 minutes in, and it was Hahn that opened the scoring. As this will come in front of our booth here on this side of the stadium. Here is Conley now, retreating to Kuika. One time, dropped in front. Williams was there, kept in bounds. Now, another chance for Florida State. Aiming for the right post, just wide. Wow.
We talked about Megan Connolly at the start of the pre-match talk, and again, another opportunity. She's got herself in a good position. Probably be a little bit disappointed with herself not hitting the target there, but again, another opportunity for FSU. NC State are struggling to get a foothold in this game at the moment, and you know, it's a tale of two stories where FSU are playing really well, but on the flip side, you know, just simple basic passing like that from NC State, not keeping possession of the ball in that defensive area, is something that they should be expected to do.
Throw into Shayna Williams. She's not able to corral it, and so the Wolfpack will grab it. Their possessions have been short-lived when they've had the ball, but now a nice job to control that, turn, push it forward, an opportunity for the Wolfpack. Florida State recovers quickly. Good job defensively.
Yeah, good work by Campbell there defensively, and Good work by Stengel. It was a good ball there from Blackwood. She's tried to play the ball in behind, but you know, that foot race that you just saw between Campbell and Stengel, clearly Megan Campbell's a little bit quicker, so the time of the run from Stengel is going to have to be a little bit better to get in behind the back four of FSU.
Campbell from Ireland.
You're talking about the blend of freshmen and seniors for Florida State, but it's a great blend for the internationals as well, because you know the players like Megan Campbell and Connolly and Koivisto coming from the European areas bring maybe a little bit technical difference to the game, along with the athleticism and the attitude from the USA players. It's a nice blend, and it looks like the team has balanced really well and have a good relationship on the field.
Yeah, Campbell and Conley both from Ireland. Kuika and Koivisto from Finland. Isabella Schmid is from Germany. Thorvald's daughter will come off the bench. She's from Iceland. So there really is an international flavor on this team. Aileen Jensen also from Iceland. Tom Block, Alex Minton with you. Florida State and North Carolina State tonight. This is sort of Tobacco Road comes to Tallahassee as the Wolfpack are in tonight, and the Tar Heels will be here Sunday. That will be a 1 versus 2 matchup, 12 noon at the Seminole Soccer Complex. North Carolina #1 in the polls. Great turn here, and FSU #2. And Shayna Williams now will drop it to Tillman. Tillman can't pull the trigger. Florida State gets it to Hahn, who's already scored once, to Carson Pickett. Pickett maneuvering. She'll play it to that left foot. Good ball. Nobody could get ahead on that for Florida State. They'll just reload. Tillman again with 2 defenders on her. Will play it backward and try to spread the Wolfpack red out just a little bit more. They will use all of the pitch, FSU. They will.
Yeah, that was nice nice defending there from Blackwood. I know it's just her defending, but putting a little bit of pressure, but shows that she wants the team to do well and try and get themselves back in the game. Talking about Sunday's game, though, against UNC, I mean, what a game that's going to be. I mean, it's an electric atmosphere in Tallahassee when those games are going on. No doubt Sunday's going to be the same.
Here's Kuika with it, gets it to her right foot, deflected, saved again. Another terrific save by the keeper as it comes back out to Carson Pickett. Pickett now drops it through. It almost careens back to Kuika, and the Wolfpack are just hanging on. Kuika with a near takeaway. Goes right to Hahn. A chest trap, and she immediately goes back on the offensive as Florida State reverses the point of attack. Sydney Wooten has made a couple of brilliant saves tonight. Otherwise, it's already 3-0.
Yeah, no, she has. Good effort by Kuika and a nice little save. And Schmid again here.
Once more in tight traffic, and this one to Wooten, who probably takes a deep breath as she corrals the ball and knows that she won't face a firing squad for the moment.
Because it's Kuika just trying to get it on the right foot and then drive it into the bottom left-hand corner. Good skill. Another shot on goal for FSU.
Midpoint of our first half. Seminoles and Wolfpack. Florida State leads the all-time series. A commanding lead, in fact, over the Wolfpack. 15-3-2, and this is the 21st meeting. The ricochet, a mammoth blast. Needed the changeup there, not the fastball perhaps, and that one goes off the indoor practice facility.
Tillmore just putting it over the top of the bar. You know, talking about things that Coach Krikorian's switched up for this season that I've noticed since previous years is just that ball from Kirsten Crowley to mix it up a bit. That was just a simple ball over the top looking for Shayna Williams, and then it creates that 1v1, and then the ball kind of jumbles in and around that area, and then all of a sudden there's a goal scoring opportunity come from it. And I like that Coach Krikorian has switched that up and let his players know that, hey, you don't have to possess the ball all the time. There's times when you can just look to put the ball a little bit over the top and put a bit of pressure on the defensive group, whether it's NC State, whether it's Clemson or UNC on Sunday.
Wolfpack with possession on a nice takeaway from Dana Tamaika, a redshirt junior. And so NC State tries to find an alley in that Florida State armor. The Noles traditionally very good with that back line and good in the net. This is a long blast. Not a bad idea perhaps though, because they have not had many chances, but that one sails out of harm's way.
Yeah, just the technique was a little bit off. I mean, from 35 yards out there, really you're going to have to do something special to beat Cassie Miller. And that ball went over the bar. It gives them a little bit of breathing space, get them to regroup, get their shape, and try and somehow create themselves to get back into this game.
Goal was scored 2 minutes in by Michaela Hahn, 1-0 FSU. 11 shots for Florida State, though. I mean, they're on pace for 40-plus shots in this match tonight.
Yep. And it'll be interesting to see, Tom, what Coach Krikorian does in terms of giving other players opportunities to play. Oh, what a ball.
Sneaks through almost, and the Wolfpack clear it out. That had to be precise, and it was almost exact.
Yeah, great ball there from Shayna Williams.
Well, we'll see Megan Campbell again with the throw-in. Campbell for FSU, a senior from Ireland, as I mentioned earlier, and she'll throw it right into the 6-yard box. Top of the box. The trap. Can Florida State turn? Not quite. Pinball going on, and the Wolfpack the worse for the wear on that one.
May just put the ball out of play. Here we go. Yeah, Corey Vistos just put the ball out of play. Just took one right on the nose by the looks of it.
Yeah, that is Tamaika, the redshirt junior from Stafford, Virginia.
I was just going to say it'd be interesting, the 6-0 game against Pitt. Coach Krikorian allowed a lot of other players opportunities to play. And here we've got 3 subs coming on here now at the halfway point for the first half. Like Thorvald's daughters come on for Shayna Williams. Jensen's come on for Tillman.
There is Thorvald's daughter. Mentioned her earlier from Iceland. She doesn't play but about half the games, but has an impressive rate of finding the back of the net in her limited time out there. She averages just under 40 minutes of playing time per game. But if you factor her goals into her minutes, she averages 1 goal every 82 minutes.
Yeah, it's a great stat. And watching her in a warm-up with the finishing exercise that they were doing with the coach of Maizame, she's got an eye for goal, and we've seen that. I mean, she's a proven goal scorer.
Well, and to put that number into context, Memi Yamaguchi set the school record with 24 goals in a season, and she actually scored at less of a rate. That was a goal every 96 minutes than what Thorvald's daughter's doing in her limited time. So she really has been effective and efficient in her time on the field for FSU. We'll see if that continues tonight.
Especially as this season continues, FSU are going to rely on Thorvald's daughter. Shayna Williams has had so much success this season so far. It's going to come to a point where as good strikers always have times when they can't put the ball in the back of the net, or they struggle, and a good team and a good squad have someone else that they can rely on as well.
That's going to be a little bit too tall for Pickett to chase down. Well, Williams and Thorvald's daughter share the team lead with 5 goals apiece. FSU team that ranks high in several statistical categories.
Do you think one of them's the longest throw-in, Tom, with another one going?
Well, you know, it seems like under Mark Krikorian, there's always been one specialist in that realm over the years, and for the last several, it's been Campbell. Florida State hasn't been successful tonight, but when you think about it, with that kind of a weapon, really every throw-in,
it's a corner kick,
or is a set piece.
Yep. Especially when these games are really tight, you know, when you get to the final stages, defensive team will get a little bit nervy and, you know, not sure who to pick up, and it only takes a second to score.
18 minutes remaining here in the first half. Tom Block, Alex Minton with you from the campus of Florida State University. 1-0 Noles. Played through with the left foot, and then a failure to connect lets it roll all the way to Sidney Wooten, who's been very, very busy tonight for the Wolfpack. You know, for all our talk about Florida State, though, and all the chances they've had, here we sit and it's still 1-0.
It is, and it's, you know, you're looking at this game, it's been all FSU. I mean, they've had attack after attack, and really NC State have maybe had one or two opportunities, but really they're half chances. They're not even a necessarily a goal scoring opportunity. But like you say, if it's still 1-0 at half time and they get into the second half and they get a corner kick or a set piece and they get a goal, that'll give them some confidence. But from all these opportunities I'm seeing FSU have, it's going to be only a matter of time before they get back on the score sheet.
Wolfpack seeking their first ACC win of the year, and what would be their first win over a top 10 ranked team since 2002. And it's a tall order here in Tallahassee, where Florida State is next to perfect over the last several seasons.
I will say whether it's naturally happened or not, but NC State's back four have spread out a little bit when they are defending, so they are trying to get tighter to, right now it's Jensen on the right and Queeker on the left. They are trying to get that little bit tighter to play, and so they are set up a little bit more safer and denied those crosses coming in.
Pick it to Conley. Conley has space, gives it up, and it's taken away. No foul call. The referee, Leland Grant, was right there. And so now the Wolfpack, they'll attack, pushing it up the right flank. A chance as they cross midfield with it. And now back the other way. Here comes Queeca. Queeca slows it up. Back to Conley. Leads the country in assists, trying to figure out who she should set up.
Keeping possession of the ball, trying to get the ball now back out to Pickett. He's got some space.
Seminoles with 11 shots here in the first half.
So Seminoles with 11 shots, NC State with 11 players behind the ball at the moment, constantly packing it in and just trying to keep safe at the moment.
What a great job settling that for Pickett. And then a good pass that takes two defenders, knock that thing out of bounds. Now Florida State will set up for the set piece that is a Megan Campbell throw-in. Here it goes once more. That's a good ball and punched out. And we're going to repeat that play.
Another one coming in from Megan Campbell.
Another long throw in, about her 7th or 8th already here in the first half. Wolfpack have done a pretty good job handling those thus far.
You're right, Tom. I mean, when we think about Megan Campbell's put 6 or 7 of these into the box, and each one of them has been defended quite well. The ratio of even shots on goal from these throw-ins are usually quite high from FSU, and NC State have done a really good job on defending. We'll just go and watch now when they go and put one in. Good goalkeeping there from Wooten.
She's done a good job of attacking. Campbell couldn't get there in time, and the Wolfpack clear again. You know, they've only surrendered 1 corner thus far, too. So even though FSU has had a plethora of shots, Wolfpack have managed to clear plenty out, and Wooten's been a big part of it. 13 minutes to play, 1-0 Florida State.
And that's not easy for any goalkeeper. You know, that ball coming across. Wooten's not the tallest of goalkeepers. I think 5'6", 5'7". Getting through a body of players and getting a good solid punch on that. That was good from her.
Wolfpack seeking their first ACC win, as I mentioned. They came inches away from beating then number 10 Pepperdine earlier this year. Scoreless game. They thought they had a goal in the 90th minute. You ask the Wolfpack attackers, they'll say that they got one that dribbled over the goal line, but the referee didn't agree, so played on, and Pepperdine got the win. Foul call against Florida State, and the Wolfpack with an opportunity here. That would have been a signature win for NC State.
Yeah. That's why these people are crying out for this goal line technology. I know they're talking about it. They have it on some of the professional leagues right now.
Florida State, a rare time where they've got to hustle back on defense and try to clear it, and they do.
I'd like NC State right now, you know, even though it's a Megan Campbell throw-in and she's going to get rid of the ball, just maybe put a little bit of pressure on these last 10 minutes and ask a couple of questions from FSU. There's times in games where, you know, you sit back and you defend and you allow pressure to come on and you look for a counter attack, but then there's other times in games where you just got to say, hey, I'm going to commit 4 or 5 players, I'm going to try and win the ball higher up in the area and see if we can get something from it. I'd like to see if NC State just mix it up, just allow that opportunity to bring some support, you know, for Stengel and for Blackwood.
Tweaka defensively forces a turnover as it's lost out of bounds by Jenna Caldwell, one of the 2 captains on this team for NC State, she and Jackie Stengel. Well, I'm not quite sure that this would count as a set piece, but she's going to really get a chance to air it out from here.
Yeah.
Near midfield. Sends everybody forward. Campbell directs some traffic, awaits the whistle, and here she'll go. To the top of the box.
Ooh.
Bounds through, and Florida State, can they pull the trigger? In tight space, trying to maneuver and cannot get the shot unleashed. Again, 4 red jerseys around, dropped back, chipped forward. The Karam free, left-footed blast, there it is, the second goal of half number 1. Florida State finally scratches through.
Yeah. Watching this replay here, Jensen gets on the ball, great first touch, she knew exactly where she wanted to move the ball, and no matter whether you're Wooten, whether you're a Hope Solo, nobody's going to be getting to that finish. What a great finish, tucked in the far left-hand corner, and wonderful strike from Jensen.
Fourth goal of the year, as you see.
It was coming. I mean, we could see it, and we could see that, and it's eventually come from a Megan Campbell throw-in.
Saw a shot of Mark Krikorian. His demeanor and facial expression would not be indicative of the success his team is enjoying right now or has over the years. It's pretty much the same at all points.
It is, and it's always that constant work. What can they do to improve, as a team and collectively of what they're looking to do in the rest of this first half and the second half. One thing I will say though, Tom, is the quality of the two finishes today, from Michaela Hahn and Jensen, that's from the highest level. The technique and the accuracy of those two shots is excellent, and for Florida State that's got to be welcoming, because I love to see top quality goals scored like that at the highest level.
Pickett thought about calling her own name. Maybe she'll do so now. Instead, gives it right back. Here's Kuika with room. Oh, boy, she was going for the right corner. They just airmailed it a little bit.
Yeah, she made the wrong choice there. Good interlink, though. Good 1-2 with Pickett. So simple, Carson Pickett, and does the simple things really well. That time it was just playing a simple give and go with Kuika, and Kuika probably should just put that ball across the face of the goal.
There is Coach Mark Krikorian, and pick a superlative to attach to what he's done in his tenure as FSU's head coach, a 4-time ACC Coach of the Year, got a national championship a year ago.
Florida State goal at 34-43, scored by Aline Jensen.
And from listening to all the interviews for this season, I mean, it's the same goal again for this year for Coach Krikorian and his staff. I mean, they're looking to retain the national championship. They're looking to go and take it for 2 years in a row, and it seems like all the other players have bought into that and want the same goals and aspirations.
Good ball here. Florida State sees the Wolfpack back line get ahead on it first, and now FSU fights the maneuver. Turn. Still free. Under 8 minutes to play. Florida State once more.
Oh,
tight area to try and dribble, but oh! Good ball.
Yep, a lot of confidence from the FSU players. Looking at the replay again here, great ball by Thorvaldstad, but that's Koivisto inside the box as a right defender, getting a shot on goal. On the other side of the field, you had Pickett, who was also 20 yards out, and they're the two fullbacks for the team. And that just goes to show for NC State or for any team that Florida State play against, picking up players has got to be so difficult. You've got to track your runners, but when you have your number 2 and your number 3 that high up on the field, it's difficult to defend against, and it's great to see.
Here's Jensen once more, floats one over the head of Thorvaldstad.
You see Pickett right here, 20 yards, 25 yards out.
Holly Fritz was hanging out in the box, trying to get her foot on one. FSU will win that foot race and play it all the way back to the keeper, Cassie Miller. 2-0 Noles, 6.5 minutes to play first half. Miller to Carson Pickett. Controls it with such ease.
Great ball.
That is a really good ball. Settled down in the corner by Thorvaldstad. She plays it back to Fritz. Now there is Pickett. Up top. Right back into the corner she goes. And it'll be lost over the line, and a goal kick for NC State. A little too much on that from Carson Pickett.
A little bit too heavy. I'm not sure. I believe it was intended really for Thorvaldstad making that diagonal run. Didn't maybe quite see Fritz with all that open space as well on the left-hand side.
Number 2, Haley Grant, in for 3, Megan Connolly.
Megan Conley checks out. Haley Grant checks in to replace her. Grant is a sophomore from Brentwood, California. "14 shots, 2 of them have found the back of the net."
Visto again high up in this area. Great ball by Michaela Hahn. One thing we've always talked about Coach Krikorian with his substitution changes, typically you see the striker change, but very rarely do you see any of the back four be taken out during the course of the game.
That's a good point.
I believe that relationship is so strong. Good skill here from Jensen.
Really good skill. Gets it to her left foot. Ball cut off as she tries to enter it. Here is Carson Pickett now, and she'll push it to the left side. Fritz.
Oh.
Taken down in the box, and
that's a penalty.
There's the penalty. Fritz, a freshman from Cape Coral, Florida, gets taken down.
It's unfortunate by Kawa there, but I think the referee made the right decision. It definitely was a penalty, and see which corner Carson Pickett tucks it away in, or Wooten can get a hand on it.
Pickett is ready to go.
Oh,
and it's saved. Florida State misfires on a PK there, and another brilliant save by Wooten.
Well, Wooten guessed early. She went before the ball was shot, and what a good, strong right-handed save that was from Wooten, and then to climb back up and capture on the ball again. So I think Wooten, to be fair, deserves that save probably. She's guessed right. Wasn't particularly a bad penalty from Carson Pickett. She kept it low, but very good save and guessed right and anticipated it early.
Pickett was looking for her second goal of her senior season, didn't get it there. But FSU does lead 2-0. We're under 4 minutes to play now. Campbell with it, a veteran.
See Campbell being from Ireland, I wonder if there's any sort of symbol with the green boots that she has on, the green Nike boots. You see her on the ball here. I'm sure there's a story behind those boots.
Couple in orange for Florida State too. There is Pickett all the way across, free, chipped into the back of the net. 3-0 Noles. Pickett sets it up, and Florida State finishes at the 3:13 mark.
Yeah, the ball came over. Initially I thought it might have been a handball, but it actually hit her on the chest. Comes in and tucks that ball in really well.
Dallas Dorsey, her third goal this year. And Florida State is spreading it out. And the route is on here in the early going. That's a freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale.
She did well to guide that ball in the far corner. Quite easily hit that ball and strike the ball too hard and hit it over, but just guided it in with her laces. Good ball by Pickett.
Really a very nice cross. And an even better finish.
Yep. Again, feel sorry for the goalkeeper Wooten for NC State, because those 3 goals that FSU have scored, really nothing that she could have done about them. Now the defending, on the other hand, NC State could have got tighter to the ball, especially with that last goal when it came in.
Well, the Wolfpack were hanging around, and it was just 1-0 for much of this first half, but now Florida State opens it up in the last few minutes of this first half.
And it's also the strength of the substitutions Coach Corian has at his disposal. You know, you have fresh legs come in halfway through the first half, put pressure on the back four, and different ideas, different thoughts. Every play is different. So, you know, just when NC State think that they may have a player under control and know what their thought process is and know what runs that they're making, FSU switch 5 players onto the field, completely whole new outlook on what they're doing with the ball. It's a good ball.
It's a very good ball, and good effort by Cassie Miller to pounce on it.
Florida State goal at 41-47, scored by Dallas
Jenna Caldwell with the cross.
Third of the year.
Yeah, it's a nice
Assist
ball.
from Carson Pickett and Megan Campbell.
Campbell and Pickett get credit for assists on that last goal by Dorsey for Florida State. And so the team that leads the country in assists per game has 4 of them in the first half here tonight.
Yeah. So consistent, the deliveries, the crosses.
1 minute remaining in the half.
It's been a solid performance by FSU so far this first half.
Pickett tried to get it to Hahn and didn't see a defender there, and so NC State with an opportunity for one last run perhaps. They'll play it to the right flank, not particularly wide, and now pushed forward. And an easy play for Cassie Miller, a sophomore from Cave Creek, Arizona. .30 seconds and counting for FSU. Time for one last push if they so choose. Thorvald's daughter will try to make the turn with 16. And FSU loses it out of bounds, and that will most likely do it for here in the first half. A first half that saw the number 2 team in the country get a trio of goals: Michaela Hahn, Aileen Jensen, and Dallas Dorsey. And at intermission, it is 3-0 Noles, and Alex, Florida State looking every bit the part of the number 2 team in the country tonight.
Good solid first half performance for FSU. Number of players shine. Jensen, who's pictured there with a great left foot finish. We talked about the quality of the finishing from all 3 players being so solid. Coach Coran's going to talk to the players at half time, maybe give an opportunity for some other players to be involved. Look to keep other players fresh for Sunday's game.
3-0 Noles here at intermission. Halftime festivities when we come back to FSU.
And welcome into Halftime Live, where the score in Tallahassee is Florida State 3, NC State 0. I'm Sean Davison alongside my analyst Aria Masudi. And Aria, with number 1 UNC looming right around the corner for Florida State, it would have been easy to fall into a trap against NC State here tonight, but so far they haven't fallen into anything.
Yeah, big game coming up against number 1 UNC. But tonight, almost 20 shots on goal, Sean. They've been phenomenal. 3 goals, a blitzkrieg really of FSU offense. No look ahead from the Noles.
Quick question, what were you doing in 1998, Aria?
I was 4, so Barney was a staple.
Well, in 1998, that was the last time NC State actually beat Florida State, and they look to beat them again tonight, but so far, as we take a look at our first half highlights, it's been all Florida State so far.
Yeah, Florida State getting it going early and often, getting a couple chances to score here early, and Michaela Hahn. Look at this shot, phenomenal. A tip by Wooten, but no, you can't stop Michaela Hahn. The Noles continuing the offensive fireworks. A couple of nice saves by Wooten there in the first half, but 2 and 3 goals coming pretty shortly from Florida State. As you look right here, and Ellen Jensen scores her 4th goal of the season. Carson Pickett trying to make it goal number 4 on the season, but great save there by Wooten, keeping the Noles at 3. But you just can't stop Florida State. It came in waves. Florida State came in waves, and Dallas Dorsey with her 3rd goal of the season just before the half. Florida State up 3-0.
So those are your first half highlights here in Tallahassee. A lot of Florida State so far. What impressed you most, Aria, as you took a look at Florida State?
Well, Florida State just came out and attacked. They did just such a really good job of controlling the pace of the game, getting the ball out wide, getting the ball up the flanks, and then servicing them in. Megan Campbell off the throw-ins. How good is she throwing the ball in? 30 and 40 yards at a time. But she's been phenomenal, and then the Noles 3-0.
So that's the first. Welcome back to Halftime Live, where the score at the half is Florida State 3, NC State 0. Sean Davison, Aria Masudi. And earlier this week, Jonathan Shalacy caught up with senior defender, midfielder for Florida State, Carson Pickett.
Welcome to the Halftime Report. We're here with Carson Pickett, the senior of the team. And Carson, what was the offseason like for you? What did you do?
I personally went to Washington, D.C., and I competed in a W League championship, and we actually won. So that was a really awesome experience to go from a national championship to another, summer championship.
All you do is win. Pretty much, that's what the
What
song
can I
is.
say?
Now, for you, before we go any deeper into DC, we got to rewind a little bit. You were in Japan about a year ago or so.
A couple years ago.
And you played with some former players, and you played with some Japan players as well. Now, fast forward, they were in DC as well. So, what was it like, first of all, going to Japan and playing with them there, and then what was it like playing with them again?
Yeah, I thought it was so awesome just going to their country, and they took us in, and taught us everything that we needed to know, and I loved that I got to return the favor and, you know, help them in my country and show them the ropes around the United States.
A lot easier playing here than over there.
Oh yeah, a lot easier, definitely. They're very good players.
What were some of the things that you were kind of teaching to them or showing them around in DC?
You know, a lot of it is language, first off, because it's really hard for them, but you know, we taught them English over there and they taught us Japanese in our own country. It was kind of opposite. It was a little weird, but yeah, but just obviously DC is a wonderful place for anyone to come, you know, American or not. So there's a million things to do, always some good restaurants and everything, so it was nice to explore.
Well, now we're back to the college game. What are your hopes, what are your goals for your final season here?
Obviously, as a team, we want to repeat and win the national championship again. But personally, I just want to get back to, you know, in the groove with all my teammates and just make sure that I'm ready for the next level when that comes. So I obviously want to play pro. So I'm going to do everything I can personally and as a team to get better.
What's it like going through your last season? I mean, what was this whole experience like? Was it more than you could have expected?
Oh, absolutely. It was enormous, you know. But coming into my last season, I think it's a good time to come, you know, to be a senior because you're going out and you're not expected to repeat, but you're kind of the underdog to repeat, you know what I mean? So I think that's probably the biggest excitement is just getting back on the field with a completely different team and showing what we got this year, just as like we did last year.
Well, we can't let you go without talking documentaries. What are some of the newest and best documentaries you've watched and as of recently?
I did watch one about, actually, ironically, about the Japanese, but I can't remember exactly what it's called, but basically about the different wars, and obviously I've watched a couple on World War I and II, and so I'm not a big history fan, but a documentary is a documentary, so have to watch.
And how's Dash doing? That's your bunny. If
Yes.
anybody doesn't know, how is Dash doing? We gotta get an update.
Dash is big. Unfortunately, she got left at home this summer because I was with the host family, but my dad, who at first said, oh, that's a stupid animal, blah, blah, you don't need a pet, and now loves her, misses her, called me the other day and said, I miss Dash, and I miss you too, but he made sure he said Dash first.
Dash was first.
Yeah, exactly, so, yeah, she's great.
That's awesome. Well, that's Carson Pickett. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to Halftime Live here on ESPN3, where the score at the half is Florida State 3, NC State 0. Sean Davison alongside Aria Masudi. And Aria, Florida State came into this match a perfect 3-0-1 in ACC play. They hadn't lost. NC State still looking for that first win. A tough schedule ahead for both teams, and we'll start by taking a look at NC State's schedule.
Well, I mean, you look at this NC State schedule right away, and if they don't get their first win of the ACC season, they got a chance at Miami on October 11th, another game at Syracuse. Those are two games that are winnable for the Wolfpack. They've got to take care of business. Clemson, a very good Clemson team this year, ranked number 7 in the country. Louisville, a tough Virginia team, and then a tough Duke team. There are no breaks in the ACC, Sean.
And we'll take a look at Florida State as well. I mentioned number 1 North Carolina looming and Louisville as well.
UNC, a possible 1-2 matchup here in Tallahassee on Sunday. Louisville, usually a strong team, at VT, at Virginia. That's a brutal 2 games in a row for Florida State. And then they wrap up with Boston College on November 1st to wrap up that ACC schedule.
So, Aria, as we look ahead to the second half, what does Florida State need to do, and what does NC State need to do to maybe get back into this one?
Well, I mean, if you're Florida State, you do what you did. You attacked the game, you controlled the pace, you've done what you've done all year long. And they put 3 goals there in the first half. I imagine they'll probably be able to put a couple more, but play consistent soccer. That's what you got to do if you're Florida State. I know Krikorian will want to keep his team playing to their level, not to their level's opponent.
And what do you think we see in the second half? I mean, now you've sort of outlined the expectations for the second half. What do you think we're going to see out of each team moving forward?
Well, it'll be really interesting to see what NC State does. Do they open up the game a little bit, send numbers forward to try and get back into this game, or do they accept their loss and move on? But I think Florida State finds a way to win this game. I mean, they're up 3-0. I imagine it'll get to 5 or 6 before the end of the night. Florida State and UNC will be a really interesting game come Sunday afternoon.
So what's your final score prediction, Aria?
Probably 5-0, 6-0. This is a good opportunity for Krikorian to get in a couple of younger players. It was an overmatched opponent when NC State came in, and good for Florida State, not looking ahead to the number 1 ranked team.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us.
Carson Pickett and company absolutely dominant in this first half. 3-0 tells one story, and the statistics certainly back it up.
Yeah, it's been all FSU. We talked about it in the first half. Very strong going forward, and clearly from the stats, it's all been one-sided.
Fouls even at 3 apiece, but really all Florida State. There's a look at the Noles, who go back to their starting 11, I do believe, and they will attack to the right now against a Wolfpack team that not only is looking for its first ACC win, they're also looking for their first goal in conference play this year, having thus far been blanked at Pittsburgh 2-0, by number 10 Virginia Tech 3-0, and against Boston College 1-0. The Virginia match was rained out, as we talked about, and when I say rained out, normally you'd play in the rain, but not when you're bracing for a hurricane, as all of the southeast U.S. was last week.
Yeah, we hope everyone over there as well, and a lot of recovery there over in the Carolinas. Looking at the second half here, there's maybe 1 or 2 slight changes here. Isabella Schmidt has come into the right back position here in place of Coyovisto. Coyovisto played that whole first half. So again, probably Coach Krikorian's thinking about Sunday, not necessarily 100% on his mind, but he's definitely got to be thinking about the big game Sunday and how comfortable FSU are in this game at the moment. Allow some of these other players an opportunity to play.
Well, Florida State has had good success against North Carolina of late. 4-0-1 in their last 5 head-to-head matchups against a team that for 2 decades was the creme de la creme in women's soccer.
Yeah, Coach Krikorian was one of those coaches that changed the way that the women's soccer played a little bit. Very much was a athletically dominated, balls forward, high pressure, and Coach Krikorian stuck to his philosophy of getting the ball on the ground, possession play, and the technical aspect of the game.
Pickett with the boot, Florida State knocking on the door already here in the opening minute 15 of our second half. Well, you and I have seen this team several times already this year. What's your impressions on what you like most about this Florida State team, and maybe an area where you think there's still room for improvement if they're going to successfully defend a national title?
I think they're on the right lines of being right up there again for the national title. And 2 years ago when they lost by a goal, and last year they won by a goal, and the game, when the higher the level that you get, it's not going to take an awful lot to win and lose games. Now, what I have been impressed with Florida State this season is, the philosophy is keeping the ball, getting the ball out wide, but sometimes mixing it up and allowing Shayna Williams to try and get in those 1v1 situations and being a little bit more dynamic and positive and I want to say the word greedy, but just being more hungry to go to goal. And that, when you mix that up with possession play, it just gives those defenders for NC State something to think about. And so I've been impressed with them. I've been impressed with the back four, and we've said it more than once with Michaela Hahn in that holding midfield role. She really is a silent catalyst to allow FSU players the ability to go forward. Things that they can work on, like any team, their finishing's been good today, but the consistency and the level of that finishing, I think, needs to improve, especially as the course of the season goes on. Thorvald's daughter, Shayna Williams, Connolly, Jensen, and Tillman, for example, their finishing percentage needs to be better when they get to that, the Sweet 16, the final, the quarterfinals, the last 8. And, so that would be something I'll be looking for. But overall, it seems like now during this season where they're at a good time. They're hitting and starting to fire on all cylinders. And what I like with Coach Krikorian as well at this moment in time is allowing a lot of other players plenty of playing time, and that's something that you haven't seen in the past. So lots of new players being able to show their experience, show Coach Krikorian what they've got, and this first half, or the first half in this game, showed that the players coming off the bench have had just as much success as the players that started. So it's exciting times.
Well said, and you're right about the margin of error. Now, the way it works in the sport of soccer is that you'll have a chance to host through several rounds of the NCAA tournament. Certainly, if you're one of the number one seeds, and FSU would be in position right now if the season ended to be a number one national seed. But there's a lot of season left in a conference tournament to really nail that down. But if you're fortunate enough to be a number one seed, as FSU has been previously, then you host every round until you get to the College Cup. But last year, things really set up well for Florida State. They got a favorable draw. The College Cup was contested in the state of Florida last year. And so everything sort of came up FSU. This year it's in Cary, North Carolina, certainly a place that Florida State has been to with the ACC tournament over the years several times.
Yeah, they'll definitely be familiar with that area and that field. And, you see Shayna Williams getting behind here.
The foot race here for Williams. You talk about her finishing. And she didn't have a chance to unleash the shot there. That was a nice job defensively to cut her off. Looked like she was going to win that foot race. Could not. Now here's another opportunity. And it'll be a goal kick.
That first touch just ran away from Shayna Williams. Ran away from Jensen there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we've seen it last year. When you get to those later stages of the NCAA championship, the crowd play an important role. The field, the familiarity of your pre-matches meals and your own bed to sleep in, that plays a big factor when you're preparing for big games.
Here comes Florida State again, top of the box, deflected. Kareen's free, now trying to settle, looking for help, drops it all the way back. Here is Schmid. Drop back to that right back position as you mentioned. It runs through Hahn as it always does. See a change there as Michaela Edwards is in. She played extensively there earlier this year.
Yep.
That back line.
Yeah, she had a good few games to the start of the season. I know Megan Campbell was away, and Michaela Edwards came in and worked well with Crowley. So she's getting a little opportunity in this second half. And that's the great thing with FSU and the players that they've got. I mean, we talk about Pickett being so strong at left back. She was brought on as a left midfielder initially and played many games in the start of her career as a wide left player. Coach Krikorian has transformed her into being a solid attacking left back, which adds another dynamic into the forward play for FSU, especially with the deliveries of the left foot.
Hannah Keogh and Mackenzie Graybill going back and forth, and Florida State fouled and will push forward, and here comes Carson Pickett.
The last delivery was a little bit too central, so I'm going to like to see her just play that ball a little bit further away from the goalkeeper on the far side, looking for a Crowley. That looks like a better ball.
Crowley has not been able to get ahead on the ball tonight, which we've seen her do so frequently. Again, NC State's done a good job really on the set pieces.
They really have. We've seen teams come here many a times that have struggled with the long throw-ins and the free kicks and the corner kicks, and you're right, Tom, NC State have done a really good job with combating that.
Not the long throw-in, but a short one here, and a quick turn and trigger, and pouncing on it again is Wooten.
Looks like NC State have set up a little bit differently in this second half. I think everybody knows from the stats and from the possession play from FSU that it's going to be some big task for NC State to get back into this game. So they're definitely sitting that little bit deeper. They're allowing pressure to come onto them. And it doesn't seem like at any particular time they're in a hurry to get forward to try and get themselves back in the game. I think they're going to have to wait for moments of a corner kick or a set piece. Or time during the second half where the coach says, you know what, we're going to go for it, and we're going to put some pressure on FSU's back four and hold a midfielder.
Had a good look at Hahn there in the middle of the action for Florida State as FSU grabs possession. Nifty work there, and here is Hahn now with a little bit of time to survey. I thought she would go to the right, but instead reverses the point of attack, something Florida State does frequently.
Yeah, you see both the defenders, left and right back, are 30 yards away from goal right now. Nobody for NC State is staying high. Everybody's getting behind the ball to try and just keep FSU at bay and stop more goals going in.
Right over to Mark Krikorian, who will settle it, and his team will get a throw in. There is Florida State's Coach K.
Yeah. Enjoying the game probably today. I think probably most of all what he enjoys about these types of games here is getting the other players to see, seeing the players come on off the bench and seeing what they can do. Keeping that excitement for the competition level of who's going to start in each game. Because these games are going to keep coming thick and fast, and the rotation of the players is important for FSU to be a top challenge, to be an NCAA championship winning team.
It's not just the experience and the rotation, but it's the combinations too, and figuring out who can play where and who plays best with who. Pretty good ball there again for Florida State. Knowles will have a corner. Mark Krikorian and his Seminoles, their last 55 matches here, if you go back to 2011, they're 53-1-1.
That's a great
That's 5
stat.
seasons, 53-1-1, dating to 2011.
It's,
to the short post, front post, and
yeah, that's a great stat, and it's become a habit, hasn't it, for FSU women's soccer to come in and the expectation to win games. And you look at this crowd out here tonight, and probably don't know how fortunate they are to see the level of play that they have and the success that comes along with it.
well, they've always had pretty good support here for this soccer program, and it's only increased throughout the years with the success the program has had, especially when North Carolina comes to town.
Yep.
Be a packed house on Sunday.
Oh,
what a nice touch.
Yeah, everybody in Tallahassee will know about Sunday's game, and they're going to have huge support, kids, adults alike, supporting on the Lady Knowles.
The far side, it's directed by Taylor Porter. NC State with just one shot to its credit. I will say this, Florida State with just one shot here in the second half thus far in the opening 12 or 13 minutes.
I think the dynamic of the game has changed a little bit. The need for more goals, not necessarily the priority for FSU. I think they probably want to just try and keep possession, get a foothold of the game. But then equally, I think NC State have dropped themselves a little bit, and just, you look at the way they're set up now. They've got 4 defenders, and actually we haven't even got an FSU player high up on the field getting in and around those players. So they've definitely dropped a lot deeper. Looks like they dropped another defensive midfield in that area as well.
Wolfpack coached by Tim Santoro in his 3rd season. Trying to turn things around in Raleigh.
And Coach Santoro is probably set the team, as we see Tillman
in space. Tries to maneuver into traffic. Now spins. Can she get across? There it is, headed out, but not all the way out. Hahn there to settle it for Florida State. And immediately they space the field once more. Chipped back in. 3 white jerseys close by. And it goes between Tillman and the post.
I was just saying, Coach Santoro's probably talked to the players at half time and set individual goals for the group of players. And with letting in a goal within the first 2 minutes of the game in the first half, he's probably said, hey, let's get out there for the first 10-15 minutes, keep everything tight. If we get a set piece or a corner, let's send players forward and see if we can get something from it. But don't give anything away. Set a goal of not giving anything away in the first 10-15 minutes, and then reevaluate, see where we're at, and then if we need to make some adjustments, we can after that. So far, NC State have been pretty solid at the back and not allowed FSU many opportunities.
Hahn again. It seems like Florida State, for a lot of years, it was Amanda DaCosta in the midfield, and now Hahn has that role. But
Yep. I know Amanda DaCosta well. She had a great career here at FSU and coached and played at Liverpool, and now back in the States and continuing to play. I actually think we may want to wish Amanda DaCosta a happy birthday this week. It was 27th birthday this week.
well, it's almost as if I was prompted to bring her name up, but I didn't know that. So
yeah,
she actually has sat in this booth with me a few times before and done some broadcasts. So happy birthday to Amanda. Nifty skill displayed again by Florida State. They're just so technically skilled at controlling, settling, passing the ball. Tillman again tries to get wide, and that's where they go. Finds help from Hahn. Now Pickett. Turned around, a chance. Conley. Oh, tried to chip it over the keeper. Pulled out the pitching wedge for that shot.
she did. Yep. She, again, going back to the finishing. That should be something that Conley should be hitting the target with. Good skill though. Sold the player. Put the ball on the left side and should really be trying to keep that ball down low, hitting a target. But those ones right there, Coach Krikorian and the coach and stuff would see that as a goal scoring opportunity. And when you don't work the goalkeeper, then that's something that needs to be improved upon.
She over dribbled, and as a result, it's turned over. Carolyn Gentry able to grab it for the Wolfpack, and now it's to Taylor Porter. Porter has it taken off her toe, Michaela Hahn. And the white shirts move forward once more.
You talk about building relationships. You know, Connolly and Michaela Hahn seem to have a pretty good relationship in that midfield area. I know every time Hahn gets the ball, she's always looking for Connolly being that outlet. Usually she's 10 or 15 yards higher than her and in good spacing, so those things take time.
Three 0 Knowles. Florida State with all its scoring in the first half. Goals by Michaela Hahn, Aileen Jensen, and Dallas Dorsey. And they've sort of had it on cruise control. I thought your point was right on, that scoring not necessarily the priority now in this match for FSU. Playing some different bodies, getting ready for that showdown on Sunday with the Tar Heels. NC State, meanwhile, trying to find the back of the net and break through in ACC play.
Oh, good flick. That
is a good flick and a good opportunity. Oh, and a save for Florida State on a great chance for NC State. Another one! How about that flurry of activity? Cassie Miller and the Seminoles almost got lulled to sleep and then paid the price.
Yeah, no, it's good play there. Good initial first save there from Cassie Miller. Ball came back out to Stengel, and could have been quite easy a goal for two of them. See, Miller's got a smile on her face. She probably knew what a good save that was. Just goes to show, Cassie Miller had nothing to do really for the whole game, and then to have that focus and that concentration to stop that shot from Zengel is huge.
Kalwa to take the corner. That's a pretty good ball, and going up to get it is Cassie Miller. Oh, and a collision, and a Wolfpack player is down.
Looking here, Jackie
Colliding with the
Stengel's
keeper.
got that second shot, and that replay is really, really good save and really good strike. That actually was similar to the strike Stengel got from in the pre-match showing. We've got a player down at the moment.
I think from a collision with the keeper.
Yeah. We can get the athletic trainer on to take a look. It was a good take by Cassie Miller though. Ball came in close to her, and she's just come up and claimed it.
So all of a sudden, NC State goes on the offensive there. Couple of very good opportunities and some terrific saves by Miller. And, the first half, Sydney Wooten had several brilliant saves. Otherwise, it'd be more than 3-0 right now.
Well, that's what the game just needed in that second half. Just what just happened with NC State. I mean, that was the first opportunity that they actually had bodies forward getting into that final third. Created a couple of nice opportunities, and if that goal went in, it would have maybe woken up the crowd a little bit.
We think it's Jackie Stengel that is down, and they continue to tend to her. I can't quite make out if that's the number 10 or not, and now good to see that she is up, and that is Stengel, who is back in her home state. She is a redshirt sophomore from Melbourne. The fans give her a big round of applause. And good to see that she's back up. Still looks a little tender as we'll get back to play here, midpoint of the second half. Take a look and see if we can figure out exactly what happened on this corner kick.
The ball's come in. Like Cassie Miller's all eye on the ball. Stengel's it's the way she's fallen. Yeah, landed right on her tailbone.
Back.
I think remember as a kid you fall back on your tailbone like that, and that can be really, really sore, and it usually jars the bottom of your back. So that looks like to be the case. I mean, you clearly see it was an accident, and Cassie Miller's got all eyes on the cross coming in, taking it cleanly, and goes to show Tom how much Jackie Stengel wanted that ball. She's gone in and full throttle, and allowed herself to.
Well, and she's the leading scorer for this team, one of the captains, in trying to break through, and that was an opportunity there as momentum shifted a little bit. That pause in play really hurts the Wolfpack now, because I think FSU's able to find its footing a little bit more.
Yeah, and especially those the two goal scoring opportunities they had just then was from Stengel. So she's going to take a break.
Kaylin Bach replaces Stengel. Tillman in a tussle right there with Carolyn Gentry. And the Wolfpack with a little bit better job possessing the ball here in our second half. Cleared towards the Wolfpack bench.
And that may have been the plan all along. Like I said, the halftime team talk for NC State may have been the fact that they don't want to let in any more goals anytime soon. Keep everything tight. And then, the last 25-30 minutes, get after FSU a little bit more. And it seems that way. It seems like now they're not set up where they've got everybody behind the ball. It's gathered a little bit of confidence, and see if they can at least test Cassie Miller a little bit and try and get on the score sheet.
Checking some scores from around the ACC tonight, Virginia Tech, which is right behind FSU, a team that the Noles still play, is leading Wake Forest 3-1. The Hokies are going to go to 4-1 in league play and 12-1-1 overall. And I mentioned that FSU will still face the Hokies in Blacksburg coming up in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks from tonight, in fact. But I've got a couple of interesting ACC scores, which I'll share here in a moment. Tillman, though, to Shayna Williams. Williams will give it right back. Williams hits the deck. Oh. Inside, Florida State couldn't get a great save again. The ricochet.
Oh, it's a pass back. It's got to be a pass back there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, great play here. Good shot from Shayna Williams. Great save by Wooten. But Alison Brown there, Alison Brown's purposefully parlayed the ball back to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper's picked it up. I've seen this happen many a times, Tom. Sometimes it's too close.
Yeah.
By the time the ball gets moved, because it's an indirect free kick, so the ball has to take one rotation, and by the time that ball's moved, every single NC State player will be over this ball. But
doesn't matter.
It's a goal.
How about that? I mean, it's almost. That's just terrific work to get that in. 4-0 Noles now. What a beauty of a shot.
It's a great finish. I cannot believe not one NC State player has gone out and pressured that ball once that ball's moved.
Watch it again.
Look here, they're all standing on the line, welcoming the ball just to be topped into the corner. That's got to be a stage where you've got 4 or 5 players doing everything
only
they can.
Only the keeper came.
Wooten.
So it almost looked as if that was the design of the play. Every other defender stayed on the line, and only Wooten came out. Well, Isabella Schmid gets the goal. Coach Krikorian didn't seem particularly pleased, even though that was nifty work, and it's 4-0 FSU.
It's unfortunate. I mean, it's an error from NC State, playing that pass back, and it's unfortunate that they've allowed that goal to go in. But the pass back could have been stopped, and then, the pressure on that free kick, I would have had that, a little bit different.
This is part of the challenge for FSU when you play them, Alex. The leading scorers are Thorvald's-Daughter and Shayna Williams. And the goals tonight are by Michaela Hahn, Aileen Jensen, Dallas Dorsey, and Isabella Schmid.
Yep.
And Carson Pickett missed a PK.
Yep.
So what does that tell you about the balance they have in this team?
And what's great about it as well is each of those players, even though they all play different positions, when they're in possession of the ball, I noticed in the first half, Queeker was playing wide left, but she would switch with Connolly. So then Connolly slides out to the left, and then Queeker's in that number 10 role. So as a defending group, and the coaching staff that you're playing against, you can never say, hey, you're going to have to pick up, Queeker because she's on the left-hand side because she floats in the middle. And it's difficult for the defenders to keep tally of who they're meant to be picking up and what their role is defensively. Credit to FSU to have those players in those exciting positions and have the freedom to be able to move off the ball and move into different positions to uncertain the defending group. You see Connolly here and that, high up in the area.
67-04 by Isabella Schmid, her third of the year.
So the third goal for Schmid makes it 4-0 Noles. The rest of the ACC soccer tonight, the score I mainly wanted to point out is that North Carolina is tied with Louisville right now at a goal apiece in the 63rd minute, and so that's the number 1 team in the country. Louisville is just 6-5 on the year, and so the Tar Heels, unlike Florida State, that's going to have the luxury of using a lot of players here tonight and having the fresher legs, the Tar Heels are in a situation where they're going to have to potentially go all 90 minutes here and then travel
potentially. It's
potentially more than that.
Potentially more than that as well. And then, like you say, jump on the road, Tom, and travel down. And all of those factors is huge for your preparation for a game of soccer at the collegiate level, to make sure you're fully prepared. And 90 minutes versus 115 minutes makes a big difference.
Pretty constant, no matter what players are shuffled in and out of the lineup, that Hahn's going to be in the middle of the field for FSU. That one doesn't seem to change very much. Also on the ACC soccer pitch tonight, Virginia leading Clemson 1-0. Not that that's a huge shock. Clemson's had a very good team this year. Virginia traditionally very, very good as well.
Yeah, both teams are good. We saw Clemson here a week or so ago, and showed some signs of being a very strong team, in meaning of, you know, top 10 team in the country. They had some special little players playing against them and threatened FSU at times. Virginia, on the other hand, are, like you say, traditionally always a strong team, recruited well, coached well, and yeah, it would be interesting, like you say, with that UNC situation, them coming down on Sunday, what that means to their preparation.
Olivia Burgow with the throw in.
NC State sub into the game, number 10, Jackie Stengel.
Jackie Stengel is back into the game for NC State, and that's good news.
That's good news.
Into the game for number 20, Rachel Cox.
Jackie Stengel looks like she's dropped into the centre midfield role versus the forward position. So maybe they've just asked her to get on the ball and feed the forwards a little bit, and maybe take the back injury a little bit easier in that role.
Burgow again with the throw in. Taken away. Good job by the Wolfpack. But then a nice job by Florida State and Holly Fritz to grab it right back. Oh, Conley either mishit it or her teammate zagged when she thought she was going to zig.
I like it.
Deep ball cut off. The red jerseys pulling forward. NC State had a couple of golden opportunities earlier this half. Two excellent saves by Cassie Miller preserved a shutout. And Florida State is actually in a run right now. When you look at it, I mean, they're among the top 10 in the conference in several statistical categories. 8 shutouts on the year.
Yeah, they're definitely looking strong. Notice in the second half, with all these changes Coach Krikorian has made, it has affected the flow a little bit for FSU, and we talk about players getting the opportunity to play, but it's building those relationships. I'm looking at Fritz on this right hand side, checking to the ball when she shouldn't be, and just learning that the dynamics of how the system works for the team. You know, you talk about how systems work as well. As this ball comes in, taken by Wooten, the system, you know, FSU come in, they play a set role, they play the one high forward, they have other players come and join in the play. You know, some of these players coming in from their club soccer or their high school soccer, familiar with a different type of role. So it takes time to adjust the runs that Coach Krikorian expects you to make when you need to check to the ball, the movement defensively, where to pressure and how to pressure. And it does. It takes a good season for those players to recognise how that fully works. It's a high defensive line here from FSU.
Well, and maybe because of that high line, the shot by Hannah Keogh, she didn't try to chip it to one of her teammates. She just put it right to the keeper. How about this statistic, Alex? Well, I'll wait for the run here by FSU. Slowed down in the second half this season. Here's another blast. Oh, a terrific save. Wow.
It's a great strike from Jensen there. Coming in.
I'll tell you what, Wooten is earning her keep tonight.
You know, how quality is this? Jensen here with her right foot. I mean, that's a thunderous shot. Great save by Wooten. But she's got the same ability to do that with her left foot as well. You know, that her goal in the first half came from a left foot strike. It was outstanding. And then she's cut inside. And again, we talk about how defensives react. You know, you can't push a player like that onto one side of their foot because both of the feet are so strong.
Campbell to take the kick. And Florida State will finally control and play it backward. The statistic I was going to share is that FSU in the second half this year has not allowed a goal now in 11 consecutive matches. This would be 12 in a row, and they've only allowed one goal in the second half all year, and that was the season opener against New Mexico. If you go back 19 matches, this one being the 20th now, as Florida State has another chance. And a big collision there. I mean, that's remarkable how stingy they've been in the second half. You have to go back to the ACC tournament, Notre Dame last year, November 7th. Other than the New Mexico, that's the last team to score in the second half on FSU.
Yeah, that's and you can see in this second half the way, you know, once you get ahead in a game of soccer, you know, there's no real need to you know, go forward and commit players forward. The defending, the left back and the right back can hold in a little bit tighter and protect Cassie Miller in the goal.
Toward the far post. Again, a good job by the Wolfpack defense to handle the set piece for Florida State on the corner.
I was going to say that ball that got played in for Thorvald's just before, it's really good defending by Bonner because it was neck and neck, and she had to make a last-ditch sliding tackle to stop Thorvald's getting a shot on goal.
You know, Thorvald's daughter, we built her up when she checked in, and she hasn't had many opportunities tonight. Twelve and a half to play from here in Tallahassee. Eight shutouts this season by FSU. Last year, Cassie Miller set an NCAA individual record, 19 shutouts on the year.
Wow. I'm just recognizing here it's only Cassie Miller and Kirsten Crowley that look like they've played the full 90 minutes. Megan Campbell as well here, that's on the ball right now. They've finally given a rest for Michaela Hahn and put Grant in that holding midfield role to give her a last 10 minutes of seeing what she can do and protect the back four.
Well, a lot of talk by us about number one versus number two, the matchup with Carolina. But after that, FSU has 3 in a row on the road, at Louisville, at Virginia Tech, and at Virginia. And both the Hokies and Cavs are in the top 10 of the polls. Then FSU gets BC at home, and most likely an ACC quarterfinal matchup at home, they hope anyway, before having to go to North Carolina, where they'll compete in the semis and the finals, or where they'll stage the semis and finals of the ACC tournament should FSU advance there.
How quickly we're at this stage of the season already to think about what's happening in a couple of weeks' time potentially for FSU.
Well, it's really not that far out. I mean, the NCAA first round starts November 13th, so I mean, just about a month away.
Yeah.
Or more appropriately, we're a month from the ACC tournament, November 6th to 8th.
And as you know, Coach Corcoran, I'm sure for years has had this like a seasonal development plan of where those players need to be at certain parts of the season. And you know, looking at Florida State at the moment, how they're allowed to play put themselves in a position where they can play other players and give plenty of rest for the starting players. Hopefully for FSU that continues, and then the more and more, the higher the level of play that they play against, these players are still fresh and ready, because there's a lot of games that's being played during the course of the season, training intense on the body and making sure that they're as fresh as possible going into the most important time of the season.
Florida State keeping the foot on the gas pedal all match long. The names and faces and jersey numbers may change, but the pressure and the attack does not for FSU. Put a ball out wide. Burgow all the way across. Trying to shake free for a shot. Defenders in front. Deflected. Captured by FSU, and the Noles will run it through Burgow again. Has an open lane if she can pull the trigger. Tried to get that left foot, but the defender was able to recover in time. Throw in for FSU.
Kirsten Crowley comes up again. Megan Campbell, nothing changes with this, even though this stage in the game with 8 minutes to go. Good defending once again.
Yeah, NC State has been first to attack each and every ball on a free kick today, it seems. Boy, Florida State threatening once more. There's Thorvald's daughter, who will set up, marking the keeper.
Yeah, ball came in. Good cross. Trying to just get on the end. Possibly could have headed that ball, but Wooten comes in, makes a good save, gives an opportunity for Campbell to put another ball into the box.
Oh, it's a pretty good ball from Campbell.
Yeah.
Oh, a bicycle attempt and then headed over.
I think she would have been offside there, but maybe good initial first save from Wooten for the corner come in. Looking here, goalkeeper does really well. That ball comes across. I think she was offside. I think she would have been called, but she probably didn't know it at the time, Tom. So that's again, we talked about what they do well and what they need to improve on. Thorvald's daughter there's 4 yards out, not knowing that she's offside. That expectation is that she needs to put the ball in the back of the net. At this moment when the team's 4-0 up, it's not a huge deal. But that was a 0-0 game with 5 minutes to go.
That makes a difference.
A lot of disappointed people about that finish.
Wolfpack take it away as we're under 7 minutes, approaching 6 now to play. NC State with 4 shots in this game. Florida State has dominated and controlled from literally the outset. The opening goal came 2 minutes into this match. Carolina and Louisville, by the way, still 1-1, and they're in the 88th minute. So
that's interesting. That's definitely going to be interesting for Sunday's game. That wasn't something you probably expected 88 minutes ago, that potentially they're going to be going into overtime. And just, regardless of how that turns out, just the mental aspect of that, FSU players and Coach Kokorian, he can use that to his advantage going into Sunday's game, about high pressure, being fresher than them, plays an important part when talking to your team and getting them prepared.
Florida State will get a free kick.
Yeah, Grable just a little bit late on the challenge. Just, you know, I like the hunger. I like the fact that she's still fighting to show what she's all about as a defender, but just a little bit late. Megan Campbell's just looking to try and keep the ball here.
To the far post, a little bit too much, perhaps, although FSU gives it a go. Now taken away by NC State. 4.5 to play. Has been all FSU tonight in Tallahassee. Knowles looking to wrap up a third straight shutout, and that'll be 7 of the last 8 matches, actually. And so perhaps starting to find their groove here at the right time.
Yep. And they're just at this moment now, they're just trying to keep possession of the ball, see out the rest of this game, get the shutout that they were talking about. You know, you're talking about, Thomas. It's important. You know, Cassie Miller really hasn't had that much to do today, and part of that shows of what NC State have brought to the table, but also defensively how strong FSU have been and how dominant they have been going forward in the final third.
Mark Krikorian Seminoles are going to improve to 11-1-1, 4-0-1 in the ACC. And they've been the top dogs in the ACC the last few years.
Yep. And that's we've talked about that before, how competitive that conference is, and to be the ACC champs is no mean feat by any means, and we're looking to be on course for that again this year. But still plenty of work to do. I mean, they've still got Virginia on the road, which will be a tough game to, and they've got, you know, obviously UNC this weekend.
That North Carolina match did go to overtime against Louisville. Yeah, FSU was picked to win the ACC this year. Virginia second, North Carolina third. Up now, here a chance for the Wolfpack if they get the cross. Good ball. Florida State up for the challenge. 2 minutes to play.
It's good to see NC State still trying to build up here. It's a good play here as well, actually. Just moved that ball a little bit quicker. Wanted the shot for herself there. Alexa Allen. A good combination play. 4, 5, 6 passes strung into play. Maybe that final shot should have just gone out wide instead of trying to shoot on goal. Cassie Miller bringing players back in now, just saying she's going to be striking the ball high up the field. All the players are on the same wavelength, know what they're doing. See out this final minute of the game.
Throw in for the Wolfpack. One minute to play for FSU and NC State. All Florida State tonight.
1 minute remaining in regulation.
Here in Tallahassee. Scored the first goal 2 minutes in. Had a 3-0 lead at the half. The Wolfpack trying to break through. Another opportunity here in the closing minute. And that's deflected out, and NC State will have a corner here. Wolfpack winless in the ACC. Have yet to score in ACC play this year. They're going to get a chance here against the Florida State team that is so stingy, in the second half.
Why not send everybody up here? 30 seconds left. You've got Bonner who looks from the box here. She looks to be about 5'10", 5'11". But they're not committing the players in that area.
And again, attacked and grabbed by Cassie Miller. I'd agree with you. What do you have to lose? Just push everybody forward.
10,
that will be the last
9,
opportunity for the Wolfpack.
8, 7, 6.
The home fans will
5,
count it down. Florida
4,
State
3,
will take
1.
another step forward with another shutout, 4-0 tonight.
And that's the game.
And Alex, they were just the better team, no question about it.
Yeah, convincing result for FSU tonight. Coach Kokorin will be happy going into Sunday's game, preparing for the big game against UNC. NC State showed signs of being somewhat dangerous, but like we say, overall dominated by FSU in tonight's game.
FSU with the win improves to 11-1-1, 4-0-1 in the ACC, and NC State drops to 4-9, 0-4 in league play. Goals tonight for Florida State by Michaela Hahn, Aileen Jensen, Dallas Dorsey, and Isabella Schmid. And now the number 2 Noles will host the number 1 Tar Heels on Sunday at high noon. For Alan Smith and Tom Block saying so long from here at FSU. FSU wins it 4-0. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long from FSU.